Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the USS Tom's Guide, its continuing mission to bring you the latest coverage about Star Trek Picard, which is premiering today, January 23rd, 2020. We've taken a look at the first episode and we wanted to give you a little bit of our thoughts about it. So, I am Commander Marshall Honoroff. Joining me,
Kelly Wu.
And the first thing we want to talk about regarding Picard is how it plays for an expert Star Trek fan as well as a more casual one. So, Kelly, tell us what you thought as a casual Star Trek fan who's familiar with the franchise but maybe not super invested in it.
Yeah, I've seen episodes of various series. I grew up watching Next Gen, and I've seen most of the movies, I think, but I wouldn't say I'm as knowledgeable as you are, for sure. And I went in wondering, should I have caught up on something? Should I have watched Nemesis before this? And, I watched the first episode and, there were parts that confused me, for sure. But mostly I got it. But yeah, I think it plays really well to a casual viewer. And I think it could even play well to a complete newbie.
I'm really glad to hear that, because one of the things that I really enjoyed while watching the show was that there were so many references to Next Generation and even other series. The end of the episode, obviously, with the Borg cube. Well, if you've seen the series finale of Voyager, that raises the question of what's going to happen with the Borg next. And I love the fact that so much of Nemesis came into play. I love the fact that the Spock Prime story from the reboot came into play, and especially the episodes Measure of a Man and The Offspring, where Data had to go on trial for android rights, and when Data created his daughter, Lal. These turned out to be huge plot points, and I'm really, really happy that they're integrated well enough that a more casual fan or even a newbie could jump in and totally understand them. So you actually brought up a very good point, how it plays as a regular old TV show. This is the era of prestige TV, and we've already seen how Star Trek can perform with a big budget, which is Star Trek Discovery. I happen to like Discovery a lot, but Picard is a different kind of show. I think the pacing is a little different, but I think that the action scenes are still great. I think it's got at least one very, very compelling character. I think even if you haven't seen any Star Trek, you'll immediately gravitate towards someone like Picard. So whether it plays for a perfect stranger to Star Trek, I don't know. But I was entertained for 45 minutes, and that's sort of the most important thing when it comes to a TV show.
Well, I watched Discovery as well, and I like that Picard has a different feel to it. It's more meditative, and I like that it really acknowledges that Picard is older. He's 20 years from Nemesis, so I think in the show he's 90-something. He's still pretty spry, but I'm glad that it's not this super fast-paced action series.
And one of the things about this version of Picard is that because there is no end point in mind, this is the first show to go past the story of Nemesis, because Enterprise was a prequel, Discovery was a prequel, even the reboot, in a way, was a prequel. And we don't know where Picard is going to end up at the end of the season. I happen to agree that Patrick Stewart has always been one of the best actors in the whole franchise, maybe the best actor, or at least the best classically trained, most recognized actor for the stuff he does outside of the show. How does the show work when Picard is the central point? Do you like any of the other characters so far?
Yeah, honestly, it's only been one episode, so there's a lot of table setting in it, I'm not gonna lie, and it concentrates a lot on Picard, of course. His name is in the title. There's a young woman, she's kind of the co-lead, Daj. So she's interesting. I'd like to get to know more about her and where she came from. It's got a good base so far.
Coming from the more expert Trek viewpoint, as you put it, I think I'm very interested to learn about these two Romulans who live with Picard. They're his friends, employees, surrogate family, but whoever they are. I've always loved the episodes of The Next Generation, and even in the original series, when they portray the Romulans as not just bad guys, but having their own complex culture.
Right.
And that was a big point in Nemesis as well, that there is not just one Romulan people. I think it just continues this great Star Trek tradition of not judging people by the race they belong to, but by the actions that they undertake. And I'm really, really excited to learn more about them, as well as about the Romulans who show up at the end of that reclamation site.
Yeah, the Borg cube. What's going on there?
It's a good question, but I am always excited to see Borg follow-ups. And there was always that question there, could the Borg come back?
Right.
I guess the answer is maybe.
Well, one thing we do know is that there are 2 cameos by former Borg characters, 7 of 9 and Hugh. So you must be looking forward to that.
I was so excited when I saw 7 of 9 in the trailers, just dual-wielding phaser rifles, because who doesn't want to see that? But now that we know that Picard is willing to dive deep into the series mythos, I would love to see more cameos. We know that Riker's going to come at some point, that Troy's going to come at some point. We've already seen Data in flashbacks. And they might do some deep cuts as well. If they can find the actor who played Bruce Maddox back in the day and bring him back in the future, I am here for it.
Well, you know, Patrick Stewart invited Whoopi Goldberg to season 2 for a cameo, so
yes,
you might even get a little bit of Guinan.
I cannot wait. Ever since, I think, The Wrath of Khan, if not earlier than that, Star Trek has had this push and pull between, is Starfleet a scientific outfit or is it a military outfit? And Picard isn't the first show to deal with that, but I think it's going to put that right in the center of the story. And that's what I'm really excited to see them explore over the course of the next 9 episodes. But what do you want to see story or theme-wise?
I'm really interested in the sort of more political storylines that they kind of hint at in this first episode. Star Trek has always been a political show. They're not afraid to take on current themes, but you know, there are definitely things that speak to the here and the now. You know, there's the Romulan refugee crisis.
So there you have it. Star Trek Picard seems like a good fit for newcomers, seems like a good fit for casual fans, and a good fit for longtime fans as well. We've got 9 more episodes to go, and we'll see how everything plays out. So for Tom's Guide, this is Marshall Honoroff and Kelly Wu saying, live long and prosper.